He took office, eggs were $4.14 a carton. They're $5.89 today. Gas was $2.95 a gallon. They're $3.11 today. This is all from the Federal Reserve.
I think you're off on the eggs.
It's 100% from the Federal Reserve.
I think you're off on the eggs.
I'm just telling you.
All right, let me tell you something. There are times where I actually feel bad because we are about to point out how wrong CNN just got their egg prices. It's actually embarrassing. So in this video, we will go over the most recent CNN meltdown in regards to egg prices and how off their facts are. So before we start the video, please like the video. It's the #1 way you can help this channel, and it helps others see the videos as well. It's a massive help.
This is going to go down in history. Like, you know how like Reagan had Morning in America and FDR had the New Deal and LBJ, the Great Society? This presidency will be known as the Great Betrayal. He was elected by the American middle class. He won the votes of voters who make less than 50 grand a year. Just as Isaac said, they voted for him for one reason: cut my cost of living. Since he's taken office, he took office, eggs were $4.14 a carton. They're $5.89 today. Gas was $2.95 a gallon. They're $3.11 today. This is all from the Federal Reserve.
I think you're off on the eggs.
It's 100% from the Federal Reserve.
I think you're off on the eggs.
I'm just telling you what the Fed says. Rent.
All right, I knew something was up when Scott Jennings said you're off on the eggs, and then he said it again and started laughing and looked over at the camera. That is always an indicator that something is up. So I went ahead and did my research. The last time eggs were $5.80 was back in March 11th. That clip is from March 26th. I have no idea where he's getting his facts from, but we are completely off. In fact, today, as I make my video, eggs are now $2.88 a dozen on average. So again, where is he getting these facts from?
Says rent has gone up $1 a day every day since he was sworn in. If he's not cutting the price of groceries, gas, and rent, he is failing the people who put him in office. He's stabbing them in the back. These are good people. I hate when my side attacks Trump voters. They're good people. But they put their faith in a guy who's stabbing them in the back every day. You can't have higher tariffs and lower prices.
I mean, you guys are going to find this so hilarious. I have no idea why CNN even bothers doing these news segments. I went straight to Zillow Rentals, and I just wanted to see, I'm going to do some fact checking. Is this true? It is true. Donald Trump, the rent has gone up every single day. But here's the thing. When Joe Biden was president, so was his, and not only that, they have a side-by-side graph, 2025 to 2024. On the 2024 chart, Joe Biden's rent was higher on average compared to Donald Trump's. And yeah, the rent is currently going up because as we go into the summer months, as you can see, it eventually tends to plateau, and then when it gets cold again, people don't move, and then the rent goes back down. It's market demand. But the point is, I cannot believe how misleading and how false the information is coming from CNN. Let me know how you guys feel about all of this in the comments. I mean, this is actually shocking how ridiculous this is.
Seeing the price of eggs is going through the roof. They're now more than $5 a dozen and continuing to rise, unfortunately, as bird flu keeps sweeping through the country. So we're here with cookbook author and scientist Kanchan Koya, who is going to show us some egg alternatives. What do we have here?
So first up, we have a commercial egg substitute that is actually made with mung beans, believe it or not. The thing is, they're not so inexpensive, so they might be a good option if you're looking for a plant-based alternative.
Look, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not trying to be mean here, and you can leave your comments down below. Egg prices could be $35 a dozen, and I still don't think I would eat that dish. I would not go vegan. I would buy the $35 eggs. Just kidding. I'm a broke American like the majority of us. Now, what I'll say is this. That news segment came out on March 16th. And I will grant them, they were kind of accurate on their egg prices, but I don't like the implication as if the egg prices were not going down. Because even at the time, at the beginning of the month, we were at $8, and then it dropped to $6, and now we are all the way down to $2.70. One thing you'll notice is it's actually very difficult to find any Democrats still talk about egg prices because it's quite clear. You don't need to have your PhD or be into research to realize when this drop-off happens, this is an indicator that things are getting better considering egg prices are cheaper.
We tried to tell y'all. I mean, Ali, I wrote specifically about this issue, what he was going to do to the Department of Justice multiple times during the election cycle, because as you pointed out in your open, this was all written down. So I don't like the shock and awe version of this, because if you had been paying attention, they wrote it down. They told you exactly what they were going to do and exactly how you were going to do it. And a majority of white people voted for this. This is the disgusting version of America that people want. And oh, by the way, eggs are still more expensive. So you didn't even get that. Great job, white folks.
Okay, now look, that clip was from MSNBC in January, but the reason why I showed you that clip is because even from the very beginning, when Republicans voted for Donald Trump, we were still all blamed for the egg prices going up, and Donald Trump is ruining the egg prices. However, quick reminder, CNN even wants everybody to know maybe we can't put all the blame on Donald Trump because it turns out Americans actually like him.
Polls have historically underestimated Donald Trump. What is a metric that might get at understanding at how popular he may actually be? So let's take a look at the percentage of the country who say that we're on the right track. It's actually a very high percentage when you compare it to some historical numbers. What are we talking about? According to Marist, 45% say that we're on the right track. That's the second highest that Marist has measured since 2009. How about NBC News? 44%. That's the highest since 2004. Wow. The bottom line is the percentage of Americans who say we're on the right track is through the roof. And if you were to compare it to when presidents have historically been reelected, of course, Trump is not constitutionally eligible to run for reelection, but I think it sort of puts it in perspective. 42% of the country says the country is on the right track when the incumbent party is reelected. And also keep in mind, back when Kamala Harris lost and the Democrats were turned out of power, only about 27 to 28% of the country said the country is on the right track. The bottom line is right now, a much higher percentage of the country says we're on the right track. And finally, Sarah Seidner, I want to put it all in the congressional generic ballot.
What about Congress? No.
What about Congress? Because those are the folks who are up in 2026. And take a look here. The Dems versus the Republicans on the generic congressional ballot. Back in November of 2020, when Democrats won, it was +5 Democrats. Tied in November of 2022, +1 in November of 2024 when Republicans maintain control. And then you look at March of 2025. This number looks a lot more like 2022 or 2024 when Republicans won control of Congress. The bottom line is, yes, Donald Trump's approval rating is lower than compared to a lot of his predecessors, but it's higher when compared to himself. A lot of folks say the country's on the right track, and the generic congressional ballot looks a heck of a lot more like when Republicans win than when Democrats win.
Uh-oh, that breaks the complete narrative of nearly every single CNN segment. Whenever we are told Donald Trump is failing, the egg prices are increasing, Americans are upset. Again, I don't understand how CNN sometimes operates, because that is a very recent poll. I think it might be like a few days old. And then you have these new segments that come out and they contradict one another. But the bottom line is this: even CNN is saying, no, hold on, Americans actually like Donald Trump. And as far as these egg prices go, the polls even state we are happy because the egg prices are going down. Now, here's some advice from Scott Jennings as far as egg prices. I think you're going to find this hilarious.
On the screen for all the viewers to see of you with your chicken. I don't know what this chicken's name is. Maybe you do.
Never name the chickens.
Oh, that's sad.
Well,
but seriously, is this realistic? Like, is this a realistic solution? Like, I mean, or is it a little bit out of touch with, I mean, you know, there's a lot of people who, you know, have no backyard to put a chicken in, for example.
That's true. Well, first of all, I would highly recommend this hobby to anybody. It's been the most fulfilling and worthwhile thing. I started with 6. I now have 35.
You have 35 chickens?
And I'm like the Pablo Escobar of my neighborhood.
Oh, my God.
It's outrageous the amount of eggs I get every single day. Now, don't everybody come over at once. But
I did hear you sometimes bring them here to CNN and share them.
I have brought eggs here. Look, I think she was making light of the idea that backyard chicken farming is taking off. But what is true is that we killed millions upon millions upon millions of chickens, which is why egg prices are high today. What I hope is that the Agriculture Department looks at this chicken culling policy. I think we may have killed too many. But if you want to know why the egg prices are high, it's not because of what anything Donald Trump has done. It's just we killed all the chickens that lay all the eggs. Now, not a problem at my house. My chickens are in a very nice, secluded backyard area. They're not interacting with any other infected animals. Well taken care of, well fed.
You're really defensive about
And this is not even a Republican talking point. This is literally just a fact. We had to get rid of chickens due to the sickness of chickens, thus the egg prices went up. Again, I don't know why Democrats really thought that Americans could not do research. And look, you have a bunch of people like me who make videos like this, and all we do, you know, we debunk these talking points, not because we dislike Democrats or we can't stand the Democrats. We're just trying to put the facts out there for you guys. I would have no problem at all if Republicans were lying and saying the egg prices were going down and they were actually going up. I would call that out because you have to make sure you have accountability. But again, time and time again, it's like we have all of this false information as if we forgot we had to take out the chickens in order to protect the rest of the population and to make sure we don't have any other sickness, and the egg prices are still going down.
All you need to do is turn on the TV. Look at your show. It's nothing but fear-mongering. That's all the Democrats do. What's inflation doing? What's inflation? Up or down? Oh, it's down. What's the prices of eggs? Oh, they're down. What's the prices of mortgage? Oh, it's down, right? But we don't cover the positive things. We only cover the negative things to get everyone worked up. So here's two things. This could be a potential problem, but it actually could be a potential long-term solution. But when you don't want to cover the other half and all you talk about is the one half, of course that's what you're going to hear. I would prefer to give both sides of the story. That's what real news people used to do, is they would give both sides of the story. So one side of the story is, yes, potentially on the short term, listen, tariffs could cause us some discomfort, no question. But let's take a look at the long term. Do you think there's any benefits to the long term? I can share with you that there are benefits to the long term if we can get this on a level playing field. And that's what we need to do. Instead of just getting everyone all ginned up about, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Let's talk about the vision on what we're actually trying to do, which is reverse the negative course and put America on track to be respected again.
Chairwoman, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you would watch our show more often, because you would see that we do have both sides on. Specifically, that's why you're on the air today, to present that side. That's what we do here at CNN. Chairwoman Linda McClain, thank you so much for the time.
Lisa, thank you.
Lisa, my apologies.
All right, I hope you guys understand the egg prices are going down. Now look, maybe we will grant the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that news anchor, he had some outdated information, but it's hard for me to believe that, considering, the $5.80 thing he's talking about was nearly 2 weeks ago. So it's quite strange that those statistics and the data he brought up with the eggs and the rent, very odd. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys go out and buy some eggs. I am not sponsored by eggs, just letting you guys know. Thank you for everything. God bless, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.